My name is Sarah and welcome to the Bookish Knitter. And welcome to another daily reading update. Today is the 12th of January. It is Sunday. Happy Sunday, everybody. It's about 10-ish in the morning. I am finishing off taking my meds. I still have my vitamins here that I need to take. So all the major pills have been taken, but I'm still taking the vitamins slowly. Drinking my coffee in my broomstick runs on coffee mug. And I have a tea from Timmy's waiting for me when I'm done that. So yeah, yesterday, nothing much. It was a very lazy day. We just kind of relaxed around the house. It was kind of nice. Garrett's doing some laundry now, and I think we're going to try and get out to the grocery store later, or we might just order in some groceries because we don't need a lot, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. My mom's out right now with the car, and my car is still not running, so unfortunately, we can't just bop over to the grocery store. I wish we could, but it's not that easy right now. So anyway, yeah, so that's the plans sort of kind of for the day. But yeah, yesterday I finished another book. I finished reading Road Trip Rivalry by Mona Shroff. Picture of it up here. I gave it 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to talk about it in my video tomorrow that I'm going to film right after this, but you guys will see it tomorrow. My kind of wrap up of the week of everything that I read. And yeah, so that's the excitement. So I've now finished 7 books so far this month. So that's pretty good. So what am I currently reading? This is going to be a much shorter video than yesterday's was because I don't have a lot to share with you basically. So I finished that book. So I'm currently still reading. I'm about 35% of the way through Rocky Mountain Rivals by Joanne Rock, which is the first book in the Return to Catamount series. It is a series about 3 sisters. So this is about, I think it's the middle sister named Fleur. And basically, she would visit her grandmother in this small town in Colorado every summer, her and her sisters. Parents had gone through a really nasty divorce. And the sisters kind of even split up between the parents. So the sisters are not the closest. And anyway, our main character in this book had a relationship with this boy over the summer. And then they got engaged. This was many, many years earlier. And the older brother, Drake, who is the male lead in this book, he kind of broke up their relationship. He thought that Fleur was in it for the money, kind of that idea. I don't want to get into the whole thing because it's revealed as you're reading the book. But eventually it's going to end up being the relationship between her and Drake, the brother. So yeah, it's a desire novel. These can get a little spicier. So I am enjoying it. Like I said, I'm about 35% of the way through it. And yesterday I started and I got about 35% of the way through, 40% of the way through. I'm 80 pages into The Cat Who Can Read Backwards by Lillian Jackson Braun. This is a reread. I've talked about this. I've read this book numerous times. It's one of my favorites. We've only just met Cao Ko Kung, or Coco, the cat, in this one. He is not yet Quilloran's cat. He will become that. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Cat Who Mystery series, this is a series that has been around for a long time. This book itself was originally published in 1966. So it is about a man named Jim Quilloran, who is a beat reporter. It's an unnamed city, but it's somewhere in the Midwest. Like they reference Chicago, they reference the Midwest, but the city itself is never actually named. And I kind of like that ambiguity, if you will. Like it could be really anywhere in the Midwest. Anyway, he's been kind of like going between, he used to be like a very well-known reporter. He was in the war. I mean, this, again, took place in the 60s. So this first book was published in the late 60s. And so he's kind of been between jobs, and he gets this job, and he's now being asked to be an art critic, and he knows nothing about art. And they're like, that's exactly what we want. We want someone who doesn't know anything about art. So he kind of gets into this whole art world. And he ends up, there ends up being a murder, and this man who is the other art critic for the newspaper, who's the more like critical critic, if you will, he ends up, he has the cat, he has Coco, and it's a Siamese cat, and the Siamese cat solves the mysteries, basically. So this is like the original cozy mystery, in my opinion. Yeah, so this series ran for a long time. I think there ended up being like, I think it was 29 books is where it ended, but the last 4 or 5 books you could almost not read because unfortunately by that point, Lillian Jackson Braun had passed away and they were being written by a ghostwriter, and they were terribly written by the ghostwriter, terribly written. They just were not the series that you know and love. So I think it was like the first 3 or 4 books were written in the 60s, and then she actually took a hiatus and didn't write the rest of them until the late 80s, early 90s. So there's a big jump between, but it is just a delightful series. I love Jim. I love the cats. So he ends up, in this book, he ends up getting Coco as his cat. I won't tell you how. Read the book. And then in a later book, he ends up getting Yum Yum, which is the female companion. So then it's him and these two cats, and they solve mysteries. And then eventually, as the series goes down the line, they move from the city, where he is in these first so many books, to this small town called Moose County, which is listed as 400 miles north of everywhere. So I imagine it being somewhere like near the Canadian border. And things take a big turn. He's no longer a beat reporter. He's like a man of leisure. Anyway, it's a great series. I love it so much. And I'm going to do a reread through the entire thing again. It's been many, many years since I've read through them, but yeah, so I do love this one so much. And it's a quick read. That's what I really like about them. And it's got a great bit of humor in them as well. So yeah, so I'm reading that right now. I'm also reading the next Nancy Drew, which is Murder on Ice, which takes place in Vermont at a ski resort. And I did start the next in that bind up or box set, if you will, of the Harlequin special editions. This one is called A Fairy Tale Ending, and it's the 9th book in the Top Dog Dude Ranch series by Catherine Mann. And it is about a woman who has a daughter who has, oh my gosh, what's it called? She's in a wheelchair. It's something with her spine. I'm so sorry. I'm drawing a blank. I'll remember when I talk to you guys tomorrow. And, but anyway, she's been like that since birth, and, her grandmother just died, and there was a will, and they, the grandmother wants her to do something, her and her sister to do something for the will. Anyway, I'm only a couple chapters in. So far I'm enjoying it. It's Catherine Mann. She does a great job. One of the earlier books in this series, in the Top Dog Dude Ranch series, is hands down, one of my favorite category romance books. And that is The Country Girl and the Country MD and the Cowgirl and the Country MD. That's what it's called. And it's delightful. It is an older couple, like he's a grandfather, and it's a delightful story. So I highly recommend it. But stay tuned, because later this week I'm going to be doing a video about winter romances. So I might be mentioning that book a bit more. But anyway, stay tuned for that. So anyway, guys, that's it. I rambled on about the Cat Who book, so that made this video a little bit longer. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you're up to today, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care and happy reading, everybody. Bye.